I titled this video, Putting the Fire Out, a personal journey in digestive healing, because it is such a personal journey. So I am almost 32 weeks pregnant, and this baby is like crowding my stomach. So if I'm winded, that's because there's a huge baby in my stomach. You just can't see it. It's down here, below the camera. So first I want to start out with telling you about my story. Yeah. So basically, this is more about my husband's digestive system than mine, and I got all of the permission to tell you guys everything about it. So let's go back in time to probably, let's see, my daughter's 5, probably 8 years ago, when I started chiropractic school. I started and I lived in Irving in a tiny little apartment, and Eric and I lived together, and he had just started his practice about a year before, so a ton of stress, right? Well, he was having like a lot of symptoms related to stress. So he was exhausted, he was fatigued. Well, he started developing stomach issues. And when I say the stomach issues, basically it started as first, after every meal, he would feel kind of bloated and sick and uncomfortable. And then it started to where it wasn't just after every meal, it was like all the time. And it progressed. The level of pain and discomfort progressed substantially, to the point to where he really couldn't function. It was affecting everything in our life. And when I say everything, I mean absolutely everything. There was a point, like one of the probably 100 most challenging times and hard times for us was at that little apartment in Irving when I was in chiropractic school. I remember he had lost a lot of weight because of his stomach issues, and I remember just looking at him, and he had these really dark circles under his eyes. He had lost a lot of muscle mass, and he was a very active guy. He's like a 3rd or 2nd degree black belt in a very awesome martial arts, and so he's very fit, very active. He was a runner. He had very great muscle tone, and he lost a lot of it. So I remember he was in the bathroom at our apartment, and he had drawn like a really hot bath to lay in, because it was the only thing that would help him deal with the sensation in his stomach. So he was laying there, and he just looked like he was gonna die. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. He literally looked like he was gonna die, and I was scared for his life. Now, as chiropractors, we believe in natural healing, and we're not really into medication unless it's for emergency purposes. It's not that we're anti-medicine, it's just we're pro-health and wellness. So he hadn't visited a doctor yet. We had tried everything that we knew how to do. And anyways, so I'm looking at him there in that bathtub, and he looks up at me and he said, if I had a shotgun, I would literally blow my stomach out right now. I am in so much pain, and I feel like I would feel better to just blow a hole in my stomach than to go through this. And I remember just crying, and I was very, very upset, and I didn't really know what to do. So about that time, I had really started getting into the core curriculum of chiropractic, and also learning more about nutrition and what type of a lab test to run to assess things like that. So I really started prying into the stomach issue. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for telling me you're here. So I really started prying into the stomach issue and seeing what I could find out. And so we went and saw a naturopath in Dallas, and she had done some tests, and through that we found out several things, some of which were devastating. So number one, we found out that he actually had a parasite, so hence the pain and the constant pain, and the muscle wasting and everything. So we found out that he actually did have parasites, and we're pretty sure we know where he got them. And not only that, but we found out that his gut flora, because he didn't have a healthy environment in his stomach, was totally destroyed. So he did not have enough good bacteria, and he had some bad bacteria. Then we also found out that he wasn't digesting his protein and fat very well, hence the muscle wasting, fatigue, and everything, as well as carbohydrates. His cholesterol was off the roof, like so bad. His blood pressure was bad, everything. And this is a young, like healthy, vibrant guy that just tanked. So if, in a side note, cholesterol is produced whenever you have a lot of inflammation in your body. So, since he had so much tissue damage, that's why his cholesterol was so high. It wasn't like a dietary issue. Cholesterol is actually rarely a dietary issue. So anyways, what else did we find out? We also found out that he had a deficiency in pancreatic enzymes. So during this time of fatigue and pain and everything he was going through, he had this intense craving for sugar. Like he would just chug orange juice after he would eat a meal, and this actually still happens, which is why we're adventuring into the Young Living supplement lines and the products that they have that I'm going to tell you about. So after a meal, he can eat like a steak, a potato, vegetables, like a very well balanced meal, and still be hungry for sugar. So he will like crave really bad food or chug orange juice or something like that. And we're going to talk about all of that. So fast forward to having a kid, and he's still in a lot of pain. We had tried everything. We tried herbs, like about, let's see, it was a $600 order of herbs. It was a giant thing like this, and it had like garlic oil, oregano oil, what else? So many different things in it. Thyme that kill parasites and all of that. So we spent $600 on this, okay? And then there were like 2 other bottles that were a few $100s, plus the naturopath fees, which were hundreds of dollars. That year, I believe we wrote off around $20,000 in medical expenses, and that was only to a naturopath and supplements. And we did have improvement. We started using medical grade food to decrease inflammation and heal his gut. And we did have improvement with that. However, he never felt normal. He still had these issues. So let's fast forward more, like I said, to having a daughter. So during this time, first time mother, I had a very traumatic birth, totally different story. But my husband was very absent from my life and Jordan's life, in the sense that when you're in so much pain, I don't know if you've ever suffered from chronic pain, whether it be a stomach issue, headache, something like that, some type of chronic pain, you become very sensitive to people's touch, or some people do. Like he couldn't handle any more sensation. It was like sensation overload. So he just couldn't handle it. And so a lot of time was spent in the bathroom. A lot of time was spent curled up in a ball in the fetal position. And a lot of time was spent, honestly, grumpy, like miserable. Even though we were starting to heal his gut, he hadn't had a transformation yet. He hadn't had a miracle. He hadn't had a miracle. So we had a lot of problems in our marriage because of that. He was just so miserable, and there was nothing anybody could do to help him. I tried everything. He tried everything. So, anyways, we stopped seeing the naturopath really because of the expense, and I felt like we really had plateaued, and we started adventuring into our own things. Well, about a year and a half ago is whenever, I think maybe 2 years, sorry, I don't know when I started using Young Living. I have to look up the date. But we started using Young Living oils, and so the first thing I thought was, okay, this Digest, like I haven't read about it, but I'm just going to put it on him because that's what they say to do. So I drenched him in Digest, and I didn't dilute it because I'm just jumping headfirst to things sometimes. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's like an oil. There's nothing wrong with this. So I totally drenched his stomach in it. I think I put like 8 or 10 drops on him, and he hated it. He was like, oh my God, I can taste that stuff in my mouth. Like, oh, that's disgusting. Don't ever put that on me again. And so I was like, oh no. What did I do? So, fast forward a few more months, and maybe not even, probably a few weeks. And I was like, oh, okay, you can dilute these things. So I was like, well, what can I make? So I put a few drops of Digest, a few drops of lavender, and some Panaway. And we put that on his stomach. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I feel so much better. So he was kind of in the middle of an episode and he used those oils and he immediately could tell a difference. And so I was picking his brain, like, what's the difference? And he said, well, a decrease in bloating. Like, I just don't feel that like fullness, irritable feeling in my stomach. And it feels better. So that was the first real breakthrough we've had with oils. And so since then, for the past year and a half, he has been using that combination. Now, he also uses Panaway on his sacrum, on his tailbone, because all those nerves in the sacrum, they go to innervate the pelvic floor and the digestive tract, your lumbar spine, your low back innervates your digestive tract. So he would just like pour Panaway on his back. And then also we use deep relief roll-on, and we're going to get into that. But those things just helped him a lot. They kind of help to relieve all the sensation and dull that down and make life more tolerable, like getting through the day and through the night more tolerable. So that was our first big breakthrough. But I'm going to tell you a big secret. People have asked me in my practice before and at the classes we do here and everything, like, hey, what do you think about Young Living supplement line? And I'm like, you know what? We have so many supplements and they've worked great for us. And I'm sure Young Living supplements are really good, but I don't know. We've just never used them. So, I mean, you can check them out and try them for yourself. But I have never used Young Living supplements except for the kids' vitamin, which they loved, and Ningxia, until 60 days ago or less, maybe like 45 days. So we just started using that line, and I'm going to tell you about that. So we're going to backtrack for one tiny second, and we're going to review the digestive system. Why? Because I'm a doctor, and I just feel like a lot of people don't understand the digestive system. We're just going to skim the surface, make it really simple, and that way at least you have an idea of what we're dealing with. So first, digestion begins in the mouth. So our body produces my mind's blank, enzyme to help you digest carbohydrates in the mouth. Why does it do that? Because your body knows, it's very intelligent. When you're starving, when you're hungry and you need something right then and you're eating, you need an instant fix, right? You'd like some energy right then. That's a whole reason why you're eating or drinking. So your body starts to break down carbohydrates in your mouth and uptake that into your bloodstream and give you some energy. Second of all, we have the esophagus and the stomach, obviously. The stomach secretes acid, so hydrochloric acid plus some enzymes to help you break down protein, fat, and everything. So we're going to side note to that hydrochloric acid I just mentioned in the stomach because this is very important. I'm not going to address every single type of stomach issue that you could possibly have today, but some things just get me all revved up, and that's one of them. So many people who have heartburn and indigestion and all that kinds of stuff, they think like, oh my gosh, I have too much stomach acid. And guess what? No, nothing against MDs, okay, or DOs at all, because I have plenty of them as friends, refer to them, all that stuff. But they are just taught in medical school that when you have too much acid coming up in the throat in a acid reflux type of way, then you have too much acid in your stomach. So the only way to fix that is to downgrade the acid by taking a proton pump inhibitor, which that decreases the amount of acid in your stomach. So that's their understanding. You have an acid symptom, you take something to decrease acid. Now, I'm going to lift the veil on that, like lift the curtain, peek through, and give you some different information. So, typically, when someone is having acidic type of symptoms, it's actually the opposite. It's the fact that they don't have enough acid in their stomach to break down their food. When that is the case, their food ferments, they get bloating, fullness, belching, and they end up burping up stomach acid. Now, then you add some antacids on top of that, and we are further decreasing the stomach's ability to break down food, to uptake nutrients, and for that person to have a healthy life. Not only that, but the medication that decreases acid takes calcium out of your bones, wrecks your bone mass. I could go on forever. So, a lot of people are on those for 20 to 30 years, i.e. my father, who never listens to me at all. I just added him to this group, so maybe he's going to see my video. He ends up listening to me like 6 months later when he hears someone else say it, and I'm like, yeah, I told you that, but let's do it. Cool. Love you, Dad. Anyways, so that is side note about the stomach. So, and there's different little, you can look into that, and we could even do a special video just on that. Gallbladder helps you break down your fats and everything. That's why fatty meals upset people with gallbladder issues. So pancreas is a huge organ involved in digestion because it releases all the enzymes you need to break down your fat, your protein, and your carbohydrates. Now, people who have sugar issues usually have a pancreatic issue. People who have digestive issues sometimes have a pancreatic issue. So the pancreas is something important to look into. For Eric in particular, because he craved sugar so much, because he wasn't getting those carbohydrates into his system immediately, so he still had to get a liquid sugar rush like juice after he ate. So for him, his pancreas was very taxed, and whenever we found out on that blood work that he had a decrease in pancreatic enzymes, it totally made sense. Small intestine. Your small intestine is actually where all the nutrients are absorbed, okay? So if your intestines are destroyed by parasites, not having good bacteria, having too much bad bacteria, then you cannot uptake your nutrients. So a lot of people, even if you're eating well, are walking around nutrient deprived because their colon, their stomach is not in good health. A lot of kids too are having that issue these days because of the American diet. I call it the sad diet because it's the sad American diet. Okay, so large intestine. Large intestine is where like water uptake happens and everything gets bulked up to eliminate all the waste. All right, so let me look at my notes real quick. I want to just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, acid issues, got it, awesome. Okay, so one more thing that we found out Eric was suffering with, so pretty much anything you've suffered with, he had it like all at once, was food allergies. Why do food allergies happen? There can be a genetic predisposition, but typically food allergies happen when the lining of the stomach and the intestines is not adequate. When that happens, large particles of food, not like giant pieces of food in the sense, but when it's broken down, large proteins, they end up getting into the bloodstream, and then the body recognizes that as a foreign protein and it starts to attack it, okay? That's where we get a lot of autoimmune responses. So a lot of autoimmune diseases are actually linked back to food allergies and linked back to not having a healthy gut. So we're talking about lupus, arthritis, all kinds of autoimmune issues. Can be linked back to food allergies. Doesn't mean it's the primary cause, but it's a huge contributor. So the health of your stomach is absolutely essential to your overall health and well-being. Whenever someone eats something that they are intolerant or have an allergy to, it can actually decrease the blood flow to their brain by, I think it's 40 to 60% to the frontal lobe. So people become very emotional. They can have anxiety. They can have panic disorder. They can have a lot of issues. Back to the stomach lining again. In the stomach are cells that convert our B vitamins to the precursors we need to make super important molecules in our brain. Those molecules are called neurotransmitters. So cells in the lining of the stomach break down our food. They make these B vitamins that then get in the blood, and make our neurotransmitters. We're talking about neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all the neurotransmitters that are responsible for the feeling of happiness, joy, emotional stability, all of that. So many people that suffer from depression, panic disorder, anxiety, all of that, a lot of that stuff can be linked back to the health of the gut. So if we're not talking about treating any conditions, FYI, we all know that, right? We're being very compliant and we're using these oils and products to enhance our quality of life. by increasing our body's ability to do what it is meant to do. So, anyways, everything in your stomach contributes to your entire well-being, not just your digestion, but your mental and emotional state. So, needless to say, my husband was very depressed, was having panic attacks for the first time in his life, was experiencing a lot of anxiety, and was absolutely miserable. And the man that I fell in love with was slipping away, not only emotionally, but spiritually, definitely physically. And so we were on a mission to really save his life. And we did, but honestly, it was just never the same. So once we came across oils, a lot of things changed. So I'm going to tell you some of the number one things that you can do and that we do to support digestion for him. So first things first, you always want to make sure you're eliminating anything in your body that could be harming you, whether it be parasites or bad bacteria. Also, your diet. We're not going to go deep into that. Refined sugars, refined foods, anything in a package, chunk it out. You need to shop on the outside of the grocery store. You need fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, meat if you like it, beans, things like that. So, diet for sure, parasites, bad bacteria. To eliminate things that are, to eliminate things that are no bueno for you, we are going to talk about a few oils. Now, these oils are known. We're going to talk about oregano and thieves. These oils can be used topically, they can be diffused, and they can also be ingested. These two guys are known for eliminating things in the body that are no bueno. So they're antibacterial, they're antiviral, they have anti-parasitic properties in the fact that I'm not saying they treat parasites, I'm not saying they treat anything. If this is in your system, it is hard for terrible things that are bad for you to survive. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So these guys are amazing. You can use these in capsules with coconut oil. They're very hot oils. You need to educate yourself before you use them for sure. But you can take these internally and they help make a huge difference in that. There are some great recipes out there in literature that's published that will tell you how to use these. So I'm not really diagnosing or treating or giving you a prescription. I'm just saying these are some go-tos for us, okay? Now, in addition to that, purification. Purification is a great one to add. It also has some anti-everything properties because it's purifying, okay? So you can add this into your regimen. You can look up how to use it. You can use it in combination with oregano and thieves. I love the three together. Digest. Digest is something that you should, so first of all, you can use all these things prophylactically, right? Because we're not treating a condition. That just means you're using it to optimize your body's health and wellness. And sorry, I'm just missing some alerts on my phone. And this, what's amazing about these oils, you probably are, I mean, I'm sure you already know this. When you put it on your skin, it absorbs into your skin very quickly and into your bloodstream. And you can bypass the digestive tract. So for us, we use these things topically. I'm going to set these all up here a lot because of the digestive system having issues with absorption and everything. You can use these guys topically and they actually get into your system the same way. Okay? Awesome. So Digest we keep on hand, use a lot between meals, at nighttime, during meals, whatever we need to do with that. So that is kind of the eliminating. Now, Young Living has some great products like Paraway, some supplements that we haven't used yet that are great for eliminating harmful things too. So after you eliminate them, you want to replace all of that bad stuff with good stuff. So that's when you bring in things like probiotics. Young Living has 2 great probiotics, maybe more. Like I said, I'm just now learning about the supplement lines. So I believe it's Alive 5 and 9. Those are great probiotics. I've looked into them a little bit and they'll be on our next order. We haven't actually tried them yet because we still have a lot of the stuff we've used before, which is still great. But talking about adding stuff in. So the digest is one to add in, the probiotics is one to add in. Then let's talk about something to help aid in digestion. So citrus oils are really great at helping increase the stomach acid, increase and balance your pH levels. So citrus oils are wonderful to add to your water because they're actually going to help you break down your food better. You can drink them throughout the day. You can use the Vitality line, but here's some grapefruit and some lemon. There's also like citrus fresh and also peppermint. Peppermint is really great, just helping with some of the things that people struggle with digestion. For me personally, I use it to help me whenever I'm just like all that pregnancy stuff, that junk where you're just like, ugh, my stomach. I use this and it just helps me to feel better. Adding citrus oils to your water is a great thing you can do just to aid in your digestion all day long and also to optimize your pH levels. Okay, so we were talking about eliminating things, all right? Oregano, digest, purification, thieves. We're talking about adding good things in, probiotics, and citrus oils. Ningxia is also a wonderful thing that you can add in that's just going to help give your body tons of antioxidants, very healing. It's totally like cleansing your blood, cleansing your body. So I love to add that in as well. Now let's talk about repairing the stomach and calming it down. So one of my favorite oils for that is digest, of course, but copaiba. Copaiba is great because it's anti-inflammatory. It really helps with soft tissue healing. So I love that. So we definitely use that. Two more oils that I really like, are frankincense and sacred frankincense. The reason I love these is because we talked about some of the emotional and mental and all that imbalances that can occur when you have serious stomach issues going on. And frankincense and sacred frankincense help to optimize your body's frequency, which lends to emotional healing and stability. And it also is very, very healing with soft tissue as well. Frankincense is. It's great for your skin and stuff like that. But you know what? Your stomach is just a big lining of skin. So these are wonderful things that you can add in to those capsules. You can actually drink them in water. But once again, you look up the product, you do your research and see how you can safely use them. I'm not telling you how to do this. I'm telling you what we're doing. So those are great things for repair. Now we're going to skip to the supplements that we just started using. And like I said, they're totally new to us, but these are helping a lot. So when we're talking about breaking down food better, let's talk about Essential Zyme and Allerzyme real quick, and we'll be done in just a few minutes, guys. We're going to cover these last few things. So I'm going to leave these up here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about these products. I don't have it memorized, so I'm going to read just a tiny bit to you. So I did research in my desk reference here. I have this giant one because I'm a nerd. I also have a small one, but this desk reference has helped me so much to have more confidence in sharing these oils with my friends, family, but also my practice members, all the moms and families that come in asking me about this stuff. So Allerzyme, Eric takes this, or is supposed to, right before a meal, okay? So Allerzyme is a blend of botanicals, ginger, peppermint, and some other essential oils to help with proper digestion, elimination, that supports, and nutrition utilization. So it helps you to use what you're breaking down better. It's an enzyme that's formulated to combat allergies, gas, fermentation, fatigue, IBS, symptoms such as that. Now, it's not treating it. What it is doing is bringing in some super powerful things that can help optimize your body in a way that will help you to cope and have a better quality of life if you do have some issues like that. So it has some great enzymes like amylase to help you break down your carbohydrates. So people like him who are craving that sugar rush so they can have some energy, this is something great to take before a meal because it helps them to get that quick carbohydrate fix and not crave sugars as bad. Then it has also lactase to help break down lactose. So people who are having issues with dairy, that's wonderful. It also has enzymes to help you break down fat and protein. The essential oils this has are great. Fennel has anti-parasitic properties, increases the metabolism, and also brings health to the urinary tract system. Patchouli is wonderful as far as antimicrobial, so we're talking about bad bacteria. Patchouli is great as well. And then ginger is anti-inflammatory, and there's several other. Peppermint, which is calming. So this is a great thing to take right before a meal. It preps your body so that if you do come in contact with anything you're allergic to, you just have a better ability to deal with it. Now, essential zyme is another one that he's supposed to take this around an hour before a meal. You want to take it within an hour of the meal. So if you take it like 2 hours early and then you eat, it's not really going to help you as much because you need to have those enzymes open and activated in the stomach. Now, essential zyme is amazing. It's a multi-enzyme complex. It promotes digestion, assists in the assimilation of nutrients. So once again, when we have bad digestion, we have issues breaking that stuff down. It's great for people with chronic pancreatic issues because it has all the enzymes in there to help with that. Not only does this product actually help by having the enzymes in it, but it actually helps to upregulate your body's own ability to start making enough enzymes on its own. So let me see here. Okay, reestablish proper enzyme balance in the digestive tract, helps to improve intestinal flora, and may help to retard the aging process. Why? Because you're actually getting the nutrients you're supposed to be getting. Okay, so several things here. This one actually has trypsin in it, which is an animal product that has amino acid precursor action and helps digest and convert carbohydrates for nutrient assimilation. So once again, we're hitting all the pancreatic issues that come along with digestive problems because your pancreas is what we need for all those enzymes. Pancreolipase is a powerful complex to break down fat, protein, starches. And I'm looking for, okay, so we have bromelain, which is digestive enzyme from pineapple. So pineapple is actually great to even add to your diet. Papaya is too. We have some enzymes from papaya in here. Riboflavin. So B12 is actually in the essential zyme, which is awesome because this is a water-soluble vitamin and it helps in the metabolic process in the body to normalize cell function, growth, and energy. This also has several antiseptic, antiparasitic, and antimicrobial oils in it, so it's going to really help to get rid of the bad stuff. It has clove, so clove is really great at helping in the anti-inflammatory process. It's actually very good with helping with irritation of tissue, so this is awesome. This we add about an hour before the meal. We're going to talk about just 2 more and then we're done. Okay, Comfort Tone. So hang in there. Comfort Tone. Exactly what it says. Let me flip to Comfort Tone. It is a great product to have on hand for those who have things like intestinal cramping, all of that stuff. It just has some things in it that help to promote normal intestinal function. So it is ideal for strengthening the colon, okay? And what it helps to do is actually cleanse the colon. It helps to get rid of residues on the surface of the small intestine and large intestine. Now, if we have all this buildup on our small and large intestine, then it is very hard for our body to uptake nutrients, okay? Because that's where the nutrient absorption happens. So this is really going to help people who do have issues with nutrient uptake. Make sure that our body is getting all the good stuff that we're eating. So eliminates residues, enhances natural ability to function, anti-parasitic, anti-inflammatory. It has things in it to soothe the digestive tract and the elimination process. And then let's see what else. Cleansing colon has benefits to the liver, gallbladder, overall process of digestion. There was a few things here I wanted to mention. Okay, echinacea root. Echinacea lowers the bowel transit time. This is important because We don't want our food just hanging out in our colon, hanging out in our intestines forever. A lot of people do struggle with things like constipation, and we want to make sure our transit time, the time it takes our food to get in and out, is adequate, because when it sits there, if you imagine that it's kind of the junk we need to get rid of, and it's just like fermenting, okay, and it's bad news. Our body can actually start to reuptake toxins from it. So using something to help with transit time is great. So echinacea root helps with that. Now, several other things to help eliminate toxins: burdock root. Garlic is essential, you guys, for immune stimulation. It's one of the things we will crush like fresh garlic cloves in our house and just eat them, swallow them down. It's very good for antifungal, so yeast issues, anti-parasitic. Just fresh garlic is just great because it just, nothing can survive when garlic is around. It's super strong, and no one talking to you can survive either. So there you go. You might want to eat that at night before you go to sleep, but it's also in this product, so that's great. Licorice root to help cleanse the blood and also support the liver. So there are some really great things in here. And then we've also got all of our oils. This one actually has German chamomile, which is very calming to the parasympathetic nervous system. I'm a chiropractor, so we're going to make a quick side note for one tiny second. Parasympathetic nervous system is in the neck and in the sacrum, in the tailbone, okay? So that is in charge, that part of your nervous system is in charge of the rest and digest. So this actually optimizes the part of your nervous system that is control of resting and digesting. So holla, chiropractor, love that. Amazing. Okay, last thing is going to be Juvatone. Turn this around. Okay, Juvatone. Now, we were talking about sugar issues. Well, one thing I didn't mention is that he did have sugar issues. Part of that was also alcohol. So for people who do crave that instant sugar rush and also are having the issues with serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, they don't have the molecules to be happy, they don't have the sugar to give them energy, those are the people who tend to crave alcohol the most. So those are the winos. I'm a wino a little bit, but who knows if it's because of any of that stuff, but I love wine. So those are the people who typically do crave alcohol more. So Juvatone is a wonderful thing to do, to use, because what it helps do is optimize your liver function. I'm going to tell you just a tiny bit about this. So it helps to increase your body's methionine. Methionine is a major, what is the word? Molecule? My brain's not working, that helps recycle glutathione, and that is a natural antioxidant for normal liver function. So you probably don't need to know all that, but it's one of the detoxification cycles. There's two. There's phase 1, phase 2. This optimizes the detoxification cycle, so that's great. The liver is one of the most important organs in the body because it actually cleanses our blood, it purifies our blood, and it helps to convert carbs to sugar. Here we go, carbs to energy. Also, its fats and bile within the liver may easily become oversaturated with oil-soluble toxins, synthetic chemicals, and heavy metals. So our liver can be a housing, a storage unit for toxins, and then when it's safe, it will release it to try to get rid of the toxins in the body. But usually your liver just stores that in the organ and in your fat away from your body so that you don't get as sick. But it's still in your body and we need to get rid of it. And your liver has a hard time functioning if you have too many toxins. So Juvatone is awesome for cleansing the body. So as toxins build, the liver becomes taxed, stress, resulting in anything from skin conditions, fatigue, headaches, dizziness, mood swings, mental confusion, all of that, because you got some toxic soup in there. So this has some great things to help upregulate that cycle. Let me see, one of the key things I wanted to mention. Choline is really great. It's actually been used to treat elevated cholesterol levels, okay? And viral hepatitis and cirrhosis. I'm not saying this treats those things. I'm saying choline has been known to treat those things, and it's actually in this product. Beetroot nourishes the liver. It promotes healthy blood pressure, so that's wonderful. Dandelion root helps with bile flow and liver issues. Then we've got lemon, which is antiseptic. echinacea again. We have, what else? What was the other one? L-cysteine to promote the production of glutathione. So there we go with our getting rid of toxins. And then we've got German chamomile to promote bile flow. Rosemary, myrtle is great for the thyroid and liver, skin issues as well. And blue tansy is awesome. Blue tansy is really great anti-inflammatory. So this has a lot of wonderful components to it that help to detoxify the body and also to purify the blood, all of those things. So this is something that we added in. Now, let's go back for 1 second. We talked about eliminating triggers, bad food, all of that. We talked about using oils to eliminate the yuck. So oregano, digestive purification, and thieves is our go-to. Optimizing digestion and pH balance. Lemon, grapefruit, and peppermint is what we're using to help with that stuff. Then we're using our 2 enzymes to optimize digestion. Then for healing, we're using frankincense, sacred frank, and copaiba. There are a ton of other things you can use as well. Ningxia. And then we're also using the Juvitone and Comfort Tone. So what I'd like to tell you about this is that Eric was using, let me tell you, side note, okay, Comfort Tone. Right now, he's taking 3 in the morning and 3 at night. The Juvitone, he is taking the Juvitone between meals. So it is actually a little bit hard for him to keep up with the protocol because he's taking these all at different times. I just picked the best time, but you can read about it. It tells you how to use them, and you can just alter it a little bit to fit into your daily routine. Okay, so where was I going with this? All right, so he was using these oils for about, I don't know, 3 days or something, and I hadn't heard any feedback from him, and I was kind of scared to ask because, you know, I'd spent the money on getting all the products, and it wasn't too much really because I used all my points. Hey, what's up, ER? I love that essential rewards. So I used points and stuff like that to get them, which was excellent. But I hadn't asked him. So I was kind of like tiptoeing around it, like, so how are you doing? Like, how are you feeling? Because he hates, because I'm always like, how are you? And he's like, if someone looked at you all day and said, are you okay? Are you hurting? Like, it would make you hurt. Like, it drives him crazy because I'm always concerned about him. So we're walking through the parking lot, and I was like, so how are you feeling? Like, can you actually tell a difference? And you just have to know his sense of humor. And I'm sorry for people who don't handle this sense of humor very well, but he's a pretty funny guy. And so anyways, he looked at me, he goes, well, honestly, I don't feel like I have an ice cube in my butt, but I feel pretty normal. And I just totally cracked up. I was like, an ice cube? That's hilarious. But to hear my husband actually say that he felt normal, just like was a huge moment for me. So I don't know, I'm pretty sure I've never heard him say that. And he said that. So he said he felt normal. And I don't know about you, but there is like not a price tag or anything that I can put on that. So these products are definitely worth looking into if you or your family or friends, or even just to arm yourself with the knowledge and use it for yourself so that you can recommend it to people who may struggle in this area. Also to use it to optimize your own health. You don't have to have an issue. This isn't just treating things. This is about optimizing your body's ability to heal, adapt, overcome, and thrive. So I would just tell you, don't take 2 years like I did to look into the Young Living supplement line. And your digestion and the health of it should be a priority for you and your children because it is linked to everything. That is how our bodies get the nutrients they need to make neurotransmitters, to control our mood, our stability, the health of our muscles and joints and everyday life. So definitely take a peek at these things. I hope today was helpful. I know that sometimes I go off on rabbit trails just because I'm super passionate and I add in all the little things I want you to know about. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment here. I will post this video. I'll save it. Maybe stick it on one of my YouTube channels or something like that if you'd like to share it that way as well. And I love you guys. I'm so glad this live video worked out today for the 500th time of me trying to get on. So y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.